how do we forge ahead? We forge ahead by having a new conversation. And the new conversation is that vote count. The new conversation is that get your PVC. The new conversation is that it is about your future. It is not one of those things any longer.
One of the factors that we should also talk about is this issue of vote buying.
Yes.
Just as we have a group of youth who are trying to reform the political system, we have some other people who are harvesters of PVCs and harvesters of voters. How do you intend to bridge this gap?
Well, the word voters education, it's all encompassing. So we're trying to bring so much on our plate, but we don't want too much on the plate. But just like I said earlier, that if vote does not count, people will not come to you and buy your vote. So we're trying to use that medium to disabuse the minds of young ones that you don't continually sell your vote. It's like you selling your rights. Your vote is your right. It's like you giving it out.
Because the reason I ask that question is a lot of Nigerians believe that now that it is now a general notion in the political system that whenever you want to come out to vie for any political office, once you have the money, you are good to go.
Yes.
And a crop of youth that are coming out at the moment, not necessarily mentioning their names, who have been coming out for, to vie for political offices, are seen as money bags who have the money to throw around. Do you think that this is not the new normal in the political system now?
See, to be factual, vote buying has become a new normal. But we are trying to say, no, we cannot continue in this direction. So why do we continually sell our vote? Now, the reason is this. At any point in time, an electorate will believe that on the day of election is an harvest time for him or her. So he believe he look around, waiting for that politician that will approach him or her. Oh, this is what I have. Okay.
And these politicians are readily available.
Of course they are. But the fact is this. The moment a politician stack up some set of cash or funds somewhere to prosecute election on the day of election, knowing fully well whether he borrows it or not, understand that the moment he gets the ballot, the moment is announced as winner, understand that those funds is spent that day, he will definitely recoup it back.
He has to.
And I will not also blame some of the politicians. Okay. It is we, the followers, that also push them. The moment they see that you are contesting, you have become a pot of soup. The moment you just make your intention know that you want to do this, you have automatically become pot of soup for anybody to approach. It is that time you see somebody whose father was sick for some years. It is that time you see somebody coming to you that say, I want to bury my father. We have been clinical. So you see somebody coming with different needs, as putting much prayer on you at all means to ensure that you get the fund. And the moment you get the fund and you prosecute the election and you win the election, you no longer consider some of the promises. What comes to your mind it's psychology and it's about emotion. What comes to your mind is how to save your head from the funds that you have borrowed, whether from banks or from individuals or whatever. That's the first thing you want to do. And that is why you see that, and in any government, you see that from 1 to 300 days, they try to drag foot a bit, trying to settle down. Not because they don't know what to do, but of course they want to settle some hands that have put so much funds into their project. They want to settle them. They want to ensure that they make them happy before they launch in.
So what do we blame for that trend? Is it the masses? Is it the people? Is it the politicians or the system?
If I say the people, it is all of us, the people. I blame all of us. I blame the system that continually encourage.
Because now, what a lot of people believe is, probably I should ask Mr. Fash this question. It is believed that the people in power, the leaders, supposedly who are supposedly supposed to be managers of the economy, and naturally are intentionally wielding the weapon of poverty. they are impoverishing the people ahead of elections so that they can, prey on them and probably take advantage of their weaknesses. Do you also believe so?
Yes, I agree with you, and we also, that's why I'd say that we blame the system. The system has made poverty so popular in the country, such that even to the level that we had the title when it comes to poverty rating in global poverty rating, and that means that a whole lot of Nigerians are poor, and 2, 3, 4, 5,000 naira means a whole lot of things to a whole lot of people, and that's why you see that people conveniently want to sell their votes. For me, sometimes I think about it like, how do people settle for such agreement? Like, oh, have this money, go and vote for this person. Like, so I think it's apart from
against their wish.
So poverty is one major thing which is really adding up to this. Then basically people still do not understand that. I think the orientation is still not enough, because if they do understand that, oh, you're selling your vote for a few thousand, like 5,000, 10,000 naira, and are you going to spend that money for 4 years that person is going to be in office? In Nigeria, for how long can you owe 10,000 naira? Like, what can you even do with 10,000 naira? And I don't think they buy vote as much as that, 2,000, 3,000. So I think orientation.
Some buy for as much as 5,000.
5,000. You understand? So people you begin to wonder how people think these things through and easily fall for this type of engagement during election. So I think that's why we are trying to put this together to orientate people and let them understand that whenever you sell your vote to somebody, what you're doing is you're selling your expectation from that person, and that person barely owes you nothing afterwards in the next 4 years, because if you have to pay you to vote, then I don't think you have any effrontery whatsoever or any right to ask questions as to how that person delivers or run when it gets into office. So these are the things we are trying to put together, have this conversation, bring the stakeholders in the process together to talk to everybody available, especially young people, about the need to vote and the reasons to vote and how to behave during elections. So as he earlier said, the PVC hangout is going to be happening on Saturday night of April 2022. We're bringing together, we're speaking with HINEC. We'll have a representative from HINEC. We'll have a representative from the security, which will also a major stakeholder in the election process. So all these persons will be there to speak to people and orientate them as to how to behave on election day and what to do with your PVC and how to go about this. So what we're trying to do is probably contribute more to the electoral force. So that, to see the probability of having more people show interest in the process. On that day too, we'll have systems, computers to assist people to do the pre-registration online, so they can go get their PVC. So that is just the idea. In
most political parties, without having to mention any name, I think some pick forms for as high as 20 million naira, some 50 million naira, depending on the office you're vying for. So I think that's another major discussion that we should institute and, talk about. Mr. Yemi Fash, this trend of political parties billing their party members just because they want to run for office, what do you think Nigeria can do about this?
We'll continue to have a conversation and agitate against it, and probably one of these days they'll see the reasons to drop this huge amount of money required to pick forms. And that's why for me, I'm always saying that we need more of us who think in the same direction to be in these positions to raise these issues. I always say you barely cannot solve a problem from the outside. So we're looking at and hoping that the ones who are joining now, when they get there, who are active within the political parties, will begin to agitate for a reduction, a reduction in this amount of money, because I really do not understand the need for this. It's one of the reasons why a whole lot of people who are credible and who would have performed better in office did not make it there, because the money.
It's a major bottleneck. You want to add something, Mr. Akinsande?
100%. It is a major bottleneck, and more often than not, I always ask myself why. Why will the cost of expression of interest and nomination form cost as high as 40 million naira? I was watching Daily Momodu this morning when he was talking about his own ambition and how he want to raise the 40 million naira from contributions from people. Then I asked myself, if I'm paying 40 million naira just for form, and what's this form for? This is something that at the end of the day, it will be trashed. At the end of the day. So I believe that consistently, if you continually to drum this kind of conversation to the earrings of our leaders who care to listen, I'm very sure one of these days, the narrative will change from what we are discussing today. Because when you look at our system, you discover that the best of us have not ruled the rest of us. It has always been some of the worst of us ruling the best of us. And why? This is because the best of us is not the money bag, but the worst of us who understand the system of money bag and understand and dip his hand into,
who understand the dynamics of Nigerian politics.
So decided to come up with his own style. Oh, the money is here. And sometimes they go, when people campaign, they no longer campaign on the strength of virtue, competence, character. No, they campaign on the strength of the guy is money bag. Already you understand? So that mindset, the moment people hears about they don't longer consider what is bringing to table, what is the manifesto. As a matter of fact, some of these aspirants or candidates don't have confirmed document that will, like a blueprint that will usher them into office eventually if they get there. They are just the set of rabble-rouser. What do? They just want to make noise, pump out the money, get the position, and do whatever they want to do with that seat. And that is why we see a system over the years that me and you have continually to complain, and nobody is doing something about it. That is to tell you that the worst of us are ruling the best of us.
Okay, quickly before we go, a lot of people believe. Okay, I was talking to some young people a few days back, and they said with the way Nigeria is going, people might not really go out to vote in 2023. There could be voter apathy, and I think there's sense in what they say. I mean, when there's this notion already that after all, we vote them and we still come back to the same discussion after 4 years. What's the need of going out to vote in the first place? Is there a room for such discussion too on the hangout day?
Yes, we're having a general discussion around the election process, and really we're emphasizing on the need for everybody to be part of the process, because yes, you're very correct with that insinuation, and a whole lot of people are already not interested in whatever it is that will come out of the 2023 election, because they have the opinion that it's going to be like
the same old story
or like
as usual.
Old story. So but then we're going to be encouraging people to not think along that line and come out en masse this time around to
vote their
conscience and ensure that they don't allow their conscience being influenced either by money or by whatsoever. People should just go out when they have their PVC and vote for the candidate of their choice.
Okay, quickly, in about 10 seconds, Mr. Akinsande.
People should go out, and the PVC hangout is about the people that come together. Let's educate ourselves on this issue. Come 9th of April, Saturday, here in Akure, NBA Center, Okeda. So they should look out for who? Look out for competence, look out for character, look out for capacity, and look out for vision in whoever they seems or wants to vote for. That is the essence.
Okay, if truly we need to see the change that we've always wanted in Nigeria, we cannot but, encourage such discussions and conversations around why we should be actively involved, even as youths, in the electoral process. This is our bid, and we do hope that you join us on April the 9th for the PDC Hangout. Is there a number that could call you in case anybody wants to reach out?
Yes. 080 6605 4222. Another number 070 62 87 7740.
All right. Thank you very much for being a part of the discussion today. Next week, Thursday, we will be back on another edition of The Public Square, and most importantly, with another interesting topic. Until then, I want to thank my gentlemen for coming on the show this morning, Mr. Yemi Fasipe and Mr. Akin Seyinde Olusegun.